Hello, this is Ralph Carlson from Ralph Carlson Blog, your touch point on the web for your unique retirement lifestyle development. And I want to talk to you about procrastination today. I wrote about procrastination on my blog over a year ago, back when I was still working. And I got to thinking about procrastination again this week and wondering if what I was thinking about procrastination back when I was working applied here now that I'm retired. So I went back and reread the post and did some tweaking, and I think maybe I made it a little clearer, made my points a little better. But then I started thinking about how it worked in retirement. Well, let me start with just kind of summarizing what I was saying about procrastination a year ago. And again, I was thinking in the work context. But what I was thinking was that we talk about procrastination like it's a bad thing, but in actuality, there are some good things about procrastination. That many times procrastination saves us from doing a lot of extra work, and it's a way of gracefully avoiding doing things that you really didn't want to do. And the examples, from the workplace, um, I imagine that everybody has had a situation where they've had a boss that was completely convinced that something was necessary, that you had to do something that took a bunch of work, um, and you knew that it didn't need to happen. You didn't need to have it. The crisis that it was supposed to avert was never going to happen. The situation was never going to call it up, and so you just sort of put it down on your list and kept working on other stuff that you knew was more important. So you managed your time, and in most cases, worked out fine. Occasionally, you might have to scramble a bit to get something together, but by and large, it gave you a way of managing your time better, without having to confront your boss, argue about something, and risk antagonizing him, or telling him he's stupid, or anything that might jeopardize your career. So that was one positive side I was seeing about procrastination. Another one was, say it's something that you commit to yourself. Maybe it's a degree program. You decide, if I get a master's degree, I'm gonna be able to get that next promotion, or they'll think of me better here, and they'll look at me for other tasks, or I can go someplace else and get a good job. So you look at that degree program, you balance the costs and the time you're going to put in and all the other stuff, and you get started. Well, maybe you get in there and suddenly you see things a little bit differently. Maybe the jobs aren't as easy to get as you thought. Maybe you're not going to get the promotion, or maybe there's not that much money that you'd get from having the degree. So looking that over, you begin to think, maybe the degree isn't going to solve this problem for me, and it is taking a lot of time and effort. But I don't want to be a quitter. I don't want people to think, oh, Ralph starts something and then he goes off and does something else. He never finishes anything. You don't really want that kind of reputation. So you just say to yourself, I got some other things I need to take care of. I'm gonna defer that degree for a little while. I'm gonna work over here, and gradually, just sort of the degree disappears. It's not on your list. Nobody. It's not been a big issue. So then I began to think, does that work? Is that something that's still useful to you in retirement? Is procrastination still a tool? Is it still a signal? Is it still does it still deserve to be given a little better rating than people normally give it. And I think it's true. You don't have a boss, but you do have a lot of pressures. They come from different places. They come from society. They come from your family. Come from friends. What people expect you to do. The things that, you're retired. You can do this. You can do that, and you don't want to do those things. But again, you don't really want to argue. You don't really want to make an issue out of it, and you really don't want to give people the control that they have if you do argue with them or whatever. But again, you don't really want to make a big issue, so you just sort of that's good, but I'm working over here right now, and you put your priorities differently so you can handle it. And the same could be said about tasks that you set yourself, like maybe you decide you'll take golf lessons, or maybe you want to learn a musical instrument, or take painting lessons. Whatever it is that maybe you've always dreamed about doing. Well, so you start doing it, and not such a big deal as you thought. It's not. You're not getting the enjoyment. You're not making the progress. You don't see the benefit of, what difference would it make in my life if I were really good at playing golf? Would it really make any difference? So you look at it. If it doesn't, then rather than quitting, rather than having people say, oh, he started this, he quit it, he started that, he quit it, whatever, you just sort of defer, move on. So I'm thinking procrastination is a good thing. It has some positive sides to it, even in a retirement situation. And I'm going to make one final comment about procrastination. I'm saying it's a good thing, but I think you want to be very cautious about procrastination. If you've got things that you discover you are procrastinating on, then those are things that you need to take a good look at. Maybe they're things that just are, they're frightening to you. Perhaps they're pushing you into areas that you've never been before. You're very uncomfortable, but still, it's a step that you have to take. It's something that that it's very important for you to accomplish what you have set for yourself in life, that you push through it and do it. Okay, in that case, you have to push through the procrastination. You have to go over it and just manage to plow out and make that thing happen. But on the other hand, if you look at it and you say, it really isn't that big a deal. I mean, if I do it, I'm not that much better off than before. In that case, the procrastination is giving you a signal: don't do it. Go do something else. So those are my thoughts about procrastination today. I'll be back at you with something else later on.